to my channel. Thank you for coming by and saying hi. My name is Shanice and this is my channel, September Love. I'm so glad to have you guys here with me today. I'm going to be doing a very quick video, kind of just talking about one of my most recent posts that I post on my blog. If you have not checked out my blog, please head there not right now, but when I'm done this video, at www.septemberlove.wordpress.com. That's SEPTEMBRE, love.wordpress.com. Check it out. There's tons of articles that I posted up there over the past 2 years or so. So check it out, see which ones you like. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So as you all know, we're in quarantine still. I think it's kind of changing now. And some people are going back to school, some people are going back to work. Things are kind of getting back to normal, which is great. I kind of want to talk about some things that I noticed in us during this time. Now, this is not a video similar to our response. This is more so how we interact with each other during this time. And some comments I've heard friends make, and some things I would see on social media that kind of made me like think, why are we like this? Like, why do we behave the way we do? So for example, I've been seeing a lot of posts, you know, and everyone just talking about how they're going to approach this time of quarantine. Now, this is obviously kind of dwindling down because quarantine is like ending. But I still want to bring it up because I feel like this is something that we don't just see it during quarantine time, but we see it in general, where people have comments to make about how other people spend their time and what they do and how they do it. And one thing that I saw, there's a lot of subliminal messages going back and forth, it seems like, and I guess it depends on what place you were in during quarantine. So you'll see things like it's a pandemic, not a productivity competition, or people will say, you know, like, yo, if you don't leave this quarantine different than you came in, like, you're not saying anything. Like, these just like two very extreme perspectives. So typically people are either on the side of like, honestly, it's not a productivity competition, so just do whatever you want, or people are on the side of like, yo, hustle, get that, and then but it's like people are making each other feel bad for their stance or how they're approaching their time, when it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? And it's weird because sometimes I wonder if people that are posting the things about, you know, it's a pandemic, not a productivity contest or whatever, is it that maybe you are having a difficult time launching something or doing something, or maybe you are feeling a little bit insecure because you haven't started something, or is it simply just a reminder? Sometimes I feel like we'll say things to make others feel bad, making those who are working hard or hustling or trying to do whatever they got to do feel bad about it. Or on the other hand, the people who are hustling and doing all this stuff are making those who are taking the time to relax and woosah and breathe and just chill, making them feel bad. And it's like, who cares? You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't know what that person's supposed to be doing during this time. You don't know what God is beckoning them to do during this time. Maybe there's something that they've been holding off on for such a long time and they finally got to do it because of the time that we're in. So to you, it comes across as like, oh, they're trying to like compete with productivity. But it's not. They're just finally being obedient or finally have the time to do whatever they wanted to explore, whether it's a personal passion project or whatever it is. And then you have, on the other hand, people who are making those feel bad. You don't know how that person's been working up until this point of being in quarantine. And so now they're like, you know what? I need to just breathe. I need to just do nothing. I need to just relax. I need to just cool out and get myself, my life, my thoughts together. I've been so focused on work or, you know, this and that, and I don't have time to really zone in on me and where I'm at. And then we make people feel bad for that. And I think it's just so unfair. It's so unfair because you don't know where the person is. And so you're judging them, or we put these things out there and we put them out there as if we're just, by just saying it. No, like you're saying it because you feel like the people who are not doing anything or the people who are doing too much are not doing the right thing. But what I'm trying to say is that everyone's responding to this time the way they're supposed to. You don't know. Everyone's lives are different. So how I respond to this time is gonna be different than how my brother responds or how my friend down the street responds, because who knows what God's trying to show me during this time? Who knows what things I need to start or stop during this time? So I think it's just a shame sometimes when I see things like that, because it's like we're trying to make each other feel bad for whatever state we're in. Who cares? And the thing is too, it's like, you don't have to pick one. You don't have to pick, oh, I'm either going to be super productive and hustle or sit on my butt and do nothing. You can do both. I'll be real with you guys. I've been doing both and it's been great. I live a life that is very busy and very demanding. I'm never home. I'm always on the road, always doing something. And it's very rare that I have a time to actually just do something that I want to do. And so, for example, me starting this YouTube channel is something I've been wanting to do for 6 years, 6 or 7 years. And it was fear paired with just lack of time. And so I finally hopped on, started doing it or whatever. And like my friends had to really encourage me. My brother had to really encourage me to get started because I was just like, oh, like, what if people don't like it? What if this happens? Or, you know, what if people make comments like this or whatever? You get in your head. But this is something that I want to do for such a long time. But to others, it may look like, wow, like so extra, right? But then there are also times when I'm literally at home and I teach online and then I just chill. I'm like, yo, I'm watching a movie today. I'm actually just going to watch a movie. Like if you guys haven't noticed, there was a week where I didn't even upload anything because I'm like, yo, I have so much work to do and I need to also just relax and chill. You can do both. We have this mentality in our society, especially millennials. We feel like it's either you're hustling hard or you're doing nothing at all. Like there's no middle ground. We don't understand balance. And although sometimes balance can be like overrated or like sometimes people say it doesn't really exist, but it does. Like we are in our own heads, and because of the way we speak to each other through social media, whether directly or indirectly, we feel this pressure. So we feel like if we're relaxing, we're wrong. You know, if we're hustling too hard and doing the most and not chilling, we're not taking time to do self-care. Like there's always like a voice in your head, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? And I think that's just so unfair. You know, I think it's very, very unfair to us to make others feel bad for what they're doing or where they're at or what they're experiencing. You know, there are some people like who I know are just like, yo, I'm literally doing not a thing. I'm not doing anything productive. I've been doing productive things. I'm chilling. And I'm like, great, because that's what you are supposed to do during this time. And I feel like we need to stop making people feel bad for whatever state they're in. And don't put up things like it's a pandemic, not a productivity competition. No one's competing. If you're putting that up, then maybe you feel like it's a competition. You know what I'm saying? Or if you say things like, oh, well, if you leave the quarantine the same way you came in, then, yo, who are you to... just be quiet. Like, who are you to say anything? Like, they can leave the quarantine however they feel, however they're supposed to. Who are you to say? And what's when you posting that? I feel like we should focus on right now. The only thing we should focus on right now is being healthy. Being healthy, whatever that means to you. If that means be productive, to eat more, eat less, work out more, work out less, sleep more, sleep less, to do more things. Whatever it is that you're saying, okay, I need this in my life right now. Do it. Do it. And we should be okay with people doing what they got to do for themselves during this time. Another thing that I also saw on there, so one of my friends sent me a message, and I wish I could find the tweet, but it was a tweet basically saying, if you didn't get a quarantine check-in, or if your friends didn't check on you during quarantine, like you need to reevaluate your circle or something like that. So let me understand this. And she asked me my thoughts on this, and I said, I think it's just very toxic. I think it's just very unhealthy. So there's a quarantine happening. We don't know what's happening in people's lives, how they're responding to it, if they're anxious, if they're not, whatever. We don't know. But you're sitting by your phone waiting for a text. You're sitting by your phone waiting for someone to hit you up, waiting for someone to message you. Like, and this is something that doesn't just, like, if you notice, this is a common conversation, not just with quarantine, but period. You know, where we're expecting from people what we're not even giving out. Did you check up on anybody during quarantine? That particular friend that you're talking about, did you check up on them during this time of quarantine? Or are you sitting down waiting for them to message you? Why are we like that? Like, and I think, and I'm saying this because we can all be in our heads sometimes, and we feel like we are the victims, or, you know, I'm such a great friend, so someone has to reach out to me now. And sometimes I think we think we're more popping than we really are. And then so we put posts like that or have this mentality that I'm such a great friend and no one's reaching out to me, when maybe you're not that great of a friend sometimes. So calm it down. We're all flawed. And another thing too is that what if that person is going through something? What if they're not even thinking about, hitting anybody up? What if they're experiencing a hard time in their home, but you're sitting there waiting for that message from them, and they're saying, I wish this person would message me, but I'm thinking about this person, but I have so much going on, I can't message them. And you're sitting in your side salty and upset because that person hasn't hit you up. I think that's so silly. Now, I think it's different if you said, I've been reaching out to this person and I haven't heard from them, and I'm not sure why. I don't know where they are or what's going on or whatever the case is. Then I would be concerned. I wouldn't even be upset. I'd be concerned. Because are you good? Because I'm hitting you up, you're not responding. I'm not gonna automatically think, oh, show me your true colors during quarantine. Now I see who you are, bro. Like, when quarantine's over, don't even look my way. Like, that's how people are acting, and I think that's very silly. It's very self-centered, and I think it's very unhealthy. But we, including myself, we have this mentality that we are the center of everyone's world. People are going through different things. You don't know what they're experiencing. If they lost a job, if they're this or they're that, or if they're just having anxiety, maybe being at home, or having anxiety going out because maybe they're an essential worker, and you're sitting waiting for a text message, a quarantine check-in that you haven't even given out. I think it's so silly, and I think it's so unfair, and I feel like we need to get out of our own way in that sense. Like, this person, you haven't heard from this person. Instead of you sitting down and waiting for them to message you, you message them and say, hey, I'm checking up on you or whatever. And some of you may say, well, I'm always the one putting in effort. I'm always the one checking up on them. Well, if that's always the case, then why would quarantine make it different? If you are always the one reaching out to this particular friend or whatever, because some people are just simply not good at reaching out, like in general. Like, I have friends who are not good at, hey, Shanice, how are you? And to some people, I'm also that friend to them. Like, I'm not good at the, hey, so-and-so, how are you? Right? So if that is how it is before quarantine, when things are normal, why would it change when things are not our norm anymore? That means that this has been a problem for you for a long time. So quarantine's not, people are saying quarantine's gonna show me who my real people are. No, it's not. Your real people have shown you who they are before then, and people have shown you who they are. Believe them, and if you don't believe them, then you're the fool, because they're showing you. We're not good at hiding who we really are. We're not good at hiding our flaws, our toxic behavior, our good things, our bad. We're not good at hiding who we are, whether positive or negative. And so when people are in your life, you know who they are, you know their patterns, you know their habits, and we look at situations like this and expect things to flip. Why? Why do we expect a change when this is what the behavior we've seen from this particular friend all these years? So my thing is if this person has this communication has been an issue before the quarantine, after quarantine, or during quarantine, it's not going to change. This is who this person is. So you have to make the choice now to accept that this is how the person is, or just move on. But either way, you have to accept it, because that's who they are. So either you're going to accept it and stay, or accept it and move on. But I feel like this whole, like, oh, you got to check for me during quarantine, or quarantine's going to show me who my real friends are. It's like, okay, and the quarantine's also showing you to other people how real a friend you are. Like, why do we think that? You know what I mean? I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But I just feel like this is something that we see not even during quarantine, but in general. So, for example, if, like, I'm a church girl, so I remember there was a time when I stopped going to church, and I was probably like 17, 18. And I stopped going to church for my own reasons. I felt like, everyone here judges me, no one loves me, and all this different stuff. I made up my own narrative in my head because I knew I wasn't living my life right, because I knew I wasn't being the nicest. I got back what I gave out. And so I had this whole idea in my mind painted that church is not a loving place, or people at church are not loving, and other Christians are like this and like that and whatever. And so I'm not gonna go there anymore. I'm just gonna do my thing. I'll worship at home and whatever. And super toxic, because no one did anything to me. And I'm not saying no one did anything to me. Like, things happen in church. Things happen, period, in the world. It's not like a church thing. It's just people offend people sometimes, in general. Okay. But I decided, I'm not going to church. So I decided to eventually go back, and people are staring at me. Why is everyone staring at me? See, as soon as I come here, everyone's watching me and da-da-da-da-da. Everyone's just looking me in my face. How about because they haven't seen you in 4 months? And you've been going to the church your entire life? How about because they called you and to check up on you, you didn't call them back? Why they even calling me? Because they care about you. The same way you were saying, oh, no one cares about me and whatever, they don't love me. And they're saying, I haven't noticed Shanice around in a while. Let me call and check up on her. And then you're mad that they're calling and checking up on you? Why are we like this? Why are we like this? I don't get it. And I'm saying, using myself as an example because I can do the same thing sometimes. I've done it before. Where you expect things from people that you don't give out. You expect love, you expect kindness, you expect this certain behavior, you expect people to check up on you and do all these things, but you don't give it out. You're just there to take and receive, but you're not doing anything. And the same thing I'm seeing during quarantine is the same thing I see outside of quarantine, outside of this. But it's like people expect this to make things different. For me, when I went back to church and I was, why is everyone looking at me? Why is everyone this and that? Hey, if you went back and no one paid you any mind, then that would also be an issue. So sometimes we expect things from people, and we truly don't know what we want, guys. We truly sometimes don't know what we want. We're in our own heads. We're in our own ways. We have things going in our mind, our own narrative, and it's just very, very unhealthy. And I hope that you guys understand what I'm saying, and I hope that you guys can maybe take a look at yourselves and think, like, am I displaying any of this behavior? If I am, how can I do better? I'm expecting things from people that I'm not giving out. Am I expecting different from people because we're in a quarantine? I'm expecting my friendships to automatically shift. Granted, relationships are shifting, whether positively or negatively during this time. But they do anyways. Whether it's a quarantine or not, relationships will shift because life shifts. So it's like, don't let this be a make or break for your friendships. Have grace and patience for people. And have grace and patience that you'd expect from others, because we are all the same. We all have this kind of toxic in our head narrative that, it's I'm this perfect friend, or I'm this, and it's me against the world or whatever. Let's encourage each other during this time and outside of this time. If someone's being productive, encourage them in their productivity. If they're feeling the need to just relax, take it easy, or do both, encourage them in that. If someone hasn't reached out to you and that's their typical behavior, that's their typical behavior. Quarantine won't change that. If you haven't heard from somebody and you've connected with them, maybe something's up, maybe something's going on, maybe something's wrong. You know what I mean? Give them space, or just try and check up again and keep being persistent to show that you care. Or you know what? If you're waiting for that quarantine message or call and you have not given it out yet, make that call. Even if you're typically the one to reach out, or so you think, make that call. Send that text. Don't sit in your corner and expect something that you're not even giving. And I hope you guys are encouraged today that to look at ourselves. I'm encouraged to look at myself and see, okay, am I expecting too much from people? Am I being gracious and patient and understanding? And am I doing what I expect from others? Am I doing unto others as I want them to do unto me? The golden rule, good old classic. Okay, so I hope you guys were encouraged by this today. Please check out the blog. This is kind of just to kind of like expand on it a little bit more. I didn't write too much on that one, but it's something I was really passionate about. And so I hope you guys were encouraged. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.